Okay, now today students will be able to solve absolute value equations. What does absolute value mean? So absolute value means the distance from 0 on the number line. Distance from 0 on the number line. Alrighty. So for example, these two lines right here, this means absolute value. This is the symbol for absolute value. All right, so the absolute value of x is equal to 4. So what that says is the distance from 0 is 4, of x is 4. So this is 0 right here. What number is 4 away from 0? Well, 4 is obviously 4 away from 0, but negative 4 is also 4 away from 0. So for this for this question, we get two answers, x equals 4 and x equals negative 4. Yeah, sorry, sometimes I put two slides on one page and I mess it up. Okay, so how about this one? The absolute value of x equals 6. So that's saying the distance from 0 is 6. So here's 0. Here's 0. What is 6 away from 0? Well, 6 is 6 away from 0, but also negative 6. So this distance here is 6. This distance here is 6. So that's exciting. Wait, hold on. Yeah, I skipped one. Well, what about this one? So it's saying the absolute value of x plus 1 is equal to 7. So what plus 1 will always be 7 away from 0. Now, your brain might explode on this one, but surely going to explode on the next one if this doesn't make it that way. So if we have issues with this, we can solve this in a systematic way. So yes, we don't know what this is, maybe. But we're saying that this distance here, whatever this is, whatever in here, this x plus 1, is going to be 7. Or, sorry, that should be x plus 1. Is going to be 7. Or that x plus 1 could be negative 7, right? We just said that's what absolute value means. So if we get this absolute value all by itself, it's going to be equal to 7 or negative 7. But it just so happens there's something going on inside. So once we have these two equations, we then have to solve them. So x could be 6, or x could be negative 8. Maybe some of you figured that out on your own. Okay, so if you add 1 to both of these, 6 plus 1 is 7, and negative 8 plus 1 is negative 7. So that's how this works. So the solutions to this equation would be, this absolute value equation is 6 and negative 8. So what about this one? All right. Well, this won't be as easy to figure out in our heads. So those of you that did figure it out in your heads, this might take a little bit more to do that. So the basic idea is we always know that if we get the absolute value, or this distance here, we're going to set this equal to the positive of whatever this is. Sorry. And the negative of whatever this is. And we solve the equations. And when we do, it's going to give us what we could plug into the original to make it work. Now with these, we're going to get fractions a lot. I may have worked it out for these that I don't, but all right. So x is 3. And this one, yeah, I made it work out for this one. And x is negative 2. So if I plug 3 in here, it's going to make the equation work. And if I plug in negative 2, it's going to make the equation work. And then something like this, let's just forget it. Okay, I'm just kidding. We don't forget it. We'll just... All right, I'm going to have to watch this thing because I don't know what just happened there. All right, so the procedure, how we're going to solve these. So the first step we always want to do is isolate the absolute value, meaning we have to get the absolute value equal to a number. We can't have anything else surrounding it. And then we're going to create two equations. Okay, and those two equations are the first one is going to be the same, but without the absolute value signs, without these things. And the second one is going to have no absolute value signs, no absolute value, but it's going to be equal to the negative of whatever that number was. Okay, and then you're going to solve each equations, and those are the answers. So here we go. Let's do a couple. So when we have something like this, we want to isolate the absolute value. That means this absolute value and everything inside it has to be by itself. So we have to get rid of this 3 that is outside the absolute value. So we're looking on this side of the equal sign, and we simply, since it's 3 times whatever that is, we divide. So it's like solving an equation before we solve the equations. Just be careful when you do these. You make these a little bit longer, because sometimes it looks like it's like a 12, and I don't want you to get confused. Alrighty. So let's solve this. So we'll create two equations. I like to do this. These two lines that we create point to the two equations that we're going to. So the first one is just the same without the absolute value. And the second one is the same on the inside. This is the one that changes. That's the only one that changes. What's outside the absolute value changes. The absolute value. I wrote that big. All right, so then we just solve each of these equations. Generally, they're two-step equations or one step. So add or subtract, and then divide. So 2x equals 2. That's a 4. And divide by 2. So in this case, x is 3 and x is 1. All right, so now you try. So you're going to solve each of these absolute value equations, and then we're going to practice a little bit tomorrow or whenever we're doing the classwork. All right, I hope you have a nice day.